I'm Lucy Nunn, and this is Julianne and William, and we're going to present to you our solution to the problem. So our problem statement. So the current framework doesn't bridge the gap between buyers and suppliers adequately, and we want to be able to bring them together and be able to satisfy both of their needs at the same time. So we've got some buyers' pain points here. So buyers have difficulty actually articulating what they need. So they might think they need a solution, but they've actually already thought too far down the path. They need to come back, bring it back and look at the big picture of what they want to achieve, and then suppliers might be able to give them a solution they've never thought of. They don't know enough about the suppliers, so they have their ABN and their financial details, but they don't know their history, what they've done in the past with government, what they've done in the past with other companies, so they don't have enough information to go off. And they also want to encourage more SME involvement. They've got a lot of, the government has a lot of bigger companies, but they're not using enough of the smaller. Okay, and we also looked at the suppliers' pain points. So there's no single point of contact. If they have a solution and they want to go to a government agency, there are so many, 165 different government agencies to go to. How do they get in contact with all of them? How do they know that their solution might be really great for this department, but they haven't actually gone there yet? A lack of transparency, not knowing whether the whole process is done just as whether it's actually each step by step, where they're going. There's a disconnect between suppliers, bigger suppliers and SMEs. So bigger suppliers think that they're missing out on the innovative work because they're automatically going to go to startups, and startups think that incumbents are automatically going to get the work. So there's no kind of transparency there. So we decided that for our solution, we were going to take you through a user journey. We're going to take you through the user journey of both the supplier and the buyer, and using our solution, which is cipro, the cipro system, and how it would impact these different solutions. So we've got Jane. She works for Transport New South Wales, and she needs to deal with the Sydney traffic congestion issue immediately. She was thinking that to do this, she's going to add a new bus lane. It's going to be fantastic. She's going to look at suppliers that have done this before and manage the bus network. However, the cipro system has made her redefine her business problem back to just the base need is to improve the traffic flow in the CBD. Cipro system is using machine learning and cognitive capabilities to determine if there are any already existing solutions that identify this. So whether that's complete solutions that have been used in other parts of the government, or just part systems that can be reused or modified. It then suggests a list of tender candidates. So this is the machine learning part where it brings in the information from past engagements and also the information provided on the suppliers to give them the information they need. We've got James on the other side. Now James is director of a startup, Location Services. He specialises in GPS application solutions. So if Jane had just gone down the path of bus lanes, he wouldn't even be part of it. He is notified of the RFP because cipro has identified his firm could help save the problem. So he's actually been pushed out a notification. James is small though, and he's missing the expertise in camera technology he really thinks could help define this problem. And so by using the cipro system, he's also able to find other suppliers. So it's kind of like a way to encourage collaboration between SMEs and encourage them to be able to compete against the bigger firms that can cover all of these. So Location Services then partners with ICU and responds to the tender. Cipro will provide a simple, user-friendly steps to complete the tender submission, and this is really important because the bigger companies, they know this process, they know it well, and they can do it quickly. But the smaller SMEs, they have trouble dealing with all of this. So they've been successful; they won it, and cipro directs them to information about the next steps. Cipro also, for transparency reasons, goes to the unsuccessful candidates and tells them detailed feedback about themselves, about what they could have done to improve or why another company won out. And it also retains all this information so that maybe another competitor had put forward a solution that isn't right for this, but could be right for another one. And so that's how the machine learning begins to contain all this information and provide better solutions. So the practicality. So it uses cognitive capabilities and it'll match the buyers and suppliers. So this is already something that is available. It's not out there and crazy. It also utilizes subject matter experts to articulate the business needs, so bringing it back. The UX is simple, intuitive, uses plain language, and the feedback loop and strengthens the machine learning process. The ICT, so our ICT priorities covers the concerns listed. We've worked in a solution that works to engage SMEs better. It's not a bespoke solution, it's kind of more tailored because machine learning cognitive is available, and it utilizes subject matter experts within the government. Already. Next steps, we would run this as an agile project. So we would prioritize one of these user stories, focus on the user experience and usability, so go out and talk to people using this, or at least brainstorm and prioritize more. Bring in some architecture design, wireframe, prototype, and deliver a first story, so kind of a really quick iteration of one of these. Any additional questions?
Yeah, I'd like to just add one thing here, right? So the cipro already helped Jane to articulate sort of like a solution already in her mind, to take one step back and define the problem, the challenge, so to speak. And that could be very important because that just includes a lot more potential suppliers coming in. And then after doing that, the cipro also helps the system, help the user, which by this moment is a buyer, to actually come up with a candidate list. And this candidate list comes from two sort of points. One is the suppliers that are already in the system, and then another pool is the suppliers who is out there that as a private supplier I may have a solution already, but then, oh, I think I can sell this one to the government. And then they actually put this information in a central place, not necessarily knowing that the government is already asking, but just put there. And so there's going to be a list of the solutions, or potential solutions there already. And then so cipro actually puts both sides. So that widens the search and also pinpoints the search a lot more better.
Great. Finish with 23 seconds to go.
Awesome. Fantastic. Questions from the judges?
Yeah. Questions?
Okay, well, it's your turn to ask me.
Oh, is it? Just because I'm doing a lot of thinking, you probably hear my brain going. I'm not overly familiar with the whole machine-based learning concept, except for what I hear in movies, which is not very good. Is this sort of technology already, like how developed and mature is this sort of technology?
It's pretty developed and mature. There's a few different types of companies that have these capabilities, but it's quite. Microsoft has it, IBM has it.
So as a point of clarification, we're using it for some of our projects, we're reading tech course descriptions, reading job ads, and IBM certainly has a granddaddy product called Watson, which is
in terms of getting buy-in from more traditional users of procurement, or even the way in which people source, how do you think, what sort of challenges do you think you'd have in convincing the cynics of the world that this is going to be a good thing?
I think pilot journeys would be a big part of this. So rolling this out in a sort of small segment, and having the people that already are in procurement helping out. So as we said in our presentation, we do have subject matter experts and procurement people helping to redefine the business need and helping to, it's not just machine, it's machine held in hand. But I think pilots would be the best way to do a change management process with something like this.
And this point here is also addressing to that, because we want to deliver the first set of 1 or 2 points out there ASAP, so that we can actually gauge real feedback. The sooner we hit the market, the better we can have real data coming back.
Okay.
And then you start developing case studies, which then you can use to sell